All right, so one of the lessons that I have learned along my journey of stepping into a new identity, an identity of someone who is willing to be seen, willing to be vulnerable, willing is the magic word here. What I have learned is part of that journey requires that you be willing to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You see, that is something that has been a hard lesson for me. And I say it's been a hard lesson for me because I have waited for my reality to give me a nice, cushiony start to every single thing that I've wanted to do. I didn't want to experience any nervousness. I didn't want to experience any fear. I just wanted all of that to suddenly disappear so that I would feel comfortable showing up. And you know what has happened? Man, it's been year after year after year after year that I have watched roll by. Because time don't wait for a single one of us. And I have not seen that fear and nervousness disappear. It has had to come for the ride. And so I wanted to deliver this message to you today because if you've been watching my content for a little while, some of what you have witnessed me doing, matter of fact, the fact that I'm even recording a video and posting it on a public platform is you watching me demonstrate what I'm talking about here today. To turn on a camera and talk to yourself, because ain't a single soul in this room with me. It's just me and this camera. But to do that and then turn around and take that content, edit it up a little bit, and then post it on a platform where the potential of tens and hundreds and thousands of people might come across that you have absolutely no idea about. I had to stretch myself. I had to be willing to move myself beyond fear. I had to decide that I was not going to be in this bubble, this little safe bubble where, no one, had the opportunity to critique me, to judge me, to ridicule me, whatever. I just created this little safe space and wanted to navigate my reality and thought that, just doing affirmations and reading books and doing vision boards and all of the manifestation techniques that are out there, that somehow that was going to get me to where I wanted to go. Just wanted to negate the entire process of aligned action. Because even if you get the inspiration to take action, if you are not comfortable with uncomfortable emotions, the likelihood of you actually taking that action is very slim. I won't say that it won't happen, but it'll be very slim. And I'm speaking from experience here because I had been the master of avoiding. And I'm not just talking about negative emotions. I've avoided emotions that were loving emotions. If it felt too intense, baby, I'd find every single reason to, avoid it. And, that's a whole other conversation. I've done a video before where I talked about my past identity of being someone who avoided intense emotions. And so my journey now has been to become curious. If there is something that comes up an experience that is presented to me and it feels a little bit like I'm not all that comfortable with it, I just take my time and slowly move towards it, because now I want to know what's on this other side of that. And what I have discovered is that when I do something that I have in the beginning perceived as something that's a little bit scary, it makes me feel a little bit nervous, and I go ahead and I take the action anyway, there is this exhilaration similar to what you experience when you get on a roller coaster ride. You know, you have that anticipation when you're standing in line and you finally get on that ride, and it's scary as hell. But then when you get off the ride, you're thinking to yourself, you know what? Let's go do that again. Well, that's how it feels to me now when I go ahead and I do a thing that feels a little bit uncomfortable to me in my thoughts. Just thinking about it makes me feel a little bit nervous. I go ahead and I take the action, and I don't mean that. Now it's taken, let me just be clear. It has taken me other processes to help build the self-trust, okay? Because when you don't trust yourself, that right there, that's the number one reason why a lot of the times we will not take certain action, because we don't trust ourselves to be able to handle whatever taking that action comes with. The emotion, the judgment, the disappointment, whatever. If you don't trust yourself, you won't move. Or if you do move, you're going to be very reluctant to move, or you're going to overthink it. And so, but like I was saying before, now for me, getting on the other side of that emotion or that fear, I feel this liberation of energy. I feel this excitement. I feel this exhilaration, because it's almost like there's something inside of me that celebrates that I did that I didn't allow that to stop me. Because again, I'm learning fear is not the instruction manual. Okay, fear is information, but it is not the deciding factor for me anymore. I mean, I can make a conscious choice as to whether or not I am actually in danger, or is this something that my nervous system is perceiving to be a threat. And so this is just some of the work that I have been doing. This is work that I'm doing in real time. And if you look back at some of the other content that I've done, I've demonstrated being willing to take certain action that I hadn't taken in times past. And matter of fact, this coming up Saturday, I'm going to be getting on a airplane and flying out to visit my daughter in Kansas by myself. And in times past, baby, you was not about to get me on a plane by myself. To go through that airport by myself? Oh no, baby. You weren't gonna get me to do that. And so now this new identity that I have been stepping into more and more and more each day, this version of me, she's willing. I'm a little bit nervous. Absolutely I am. But it's not a reason for me to not go. And so I'm going. And I know that this just opens me up to more and more and more to experience. It is expanding my capacity to hold more of what reality has to offer to me. And so, again, this is the work. And I am more than happy to share this journey with you on a more one-on-one basis. I'm offering a 30 to 45 minute complimentary coaching session, and this will be practice coaching, okay? Because I'm still learning along the journey. And what I would be exploring with you, if you are interested, is first we'd identify what it is that you have been wanting to do, but you find yourself not taking the action. You're either overthinking it, you're hesitating, you are getting distracted, whatever. And so you find yourself not actually following through on your desire. Next, we're going to explore what's underneath that avoidant behavior. And then we're going to separate identity from the outcome, because there is some belief that you are holding about the outcome. Some belief that you are holding about what it will mean about yourself. I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. Things of that nature. We're going to separate you from that. And then we're going to explore one small action that you are willing to take despite maybe not feeling like you're completely ready. But what you will feel is willing to do it anyways. So if you are interested in working with me, again, this would be a practice coaching session, about 30 to 45 minutes. Message me the word willing and give me a brief description of an action that you've been wanting to take and what you believe might be holding you back. All right, and I'll leave some details down in the comments, okay? And like I said, I am new to all of this. I am still practicing all of what I will be working with you on with myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not standing here on the other side. I'm a master at it. I'm not even about to make you think that about me, but I am definitely willing. I know that it's what it's going to require of me to be willing to work one-on-one with someone, to practice, to get that training. Okay, I talked about that in one of my other videos. All of this is the same stuff that I was willing to do when I started my jobs, because I've had several, okay? But including the one that I have right now, I did on-the-job training, okay? And I was nervous about doing it, but I did it. And so therefore, I have to apply that same willingness to my own life, to my dreams, to fund what it is that I want to create, okay? All right, so I'm not going to drag this too much longer. If you stayed all the way to the end, thank you. I hope you found value in my message here today. And as always, I appreciate your support. I do see that I have been gaining some new subscribers. Thank you so much for being willing to come along this journey with me. And until next time, lovelies, be blessed.